This is Adam Rehmeier, director of The Bunny Game, and you're listening to Gruesome Hertzogg.
Hello, everyone. This is Gruesome Hertzogg. My very special guest is the mastermind behind The Bunny Game, Adam Rehmeier. How you doing, Adam?
Good, mister. How you doing?
Great. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Good. I'm trying to compete with you for the best voice on the air.
Okay. Thank you. But as everyone knows, it's a big... the Bunny Game is a big phenomenon on Facebook, but what I want to start with first is a little baby that's not quite so popular, which I think it should be. We talked one time, a couple weeks ago, and you introduced it to me, and I watched it. It's Henry and Marvin in 2001. Now, Greg Gilmore, who, honest to God, I never really heard much of. Greg did a brilliant job in this movie. I mean, he pulled off a role where he didn't say very many words, but his facial expressions alone, I thought, was dynamic. And if you want to, you can give the listeners an idea exactly what Henry and Marvin is about.
Henry and Marvin is a film about a group home for mentally challenged adults. The atmosphere of the film, centers around this group home and sort of the daily functions of the group home. And Greg plays Henry, the highest functioning member of the group home. And he kind of has his own room, and he can work on his boats and stuff in there. And he has a whole little world set up, that's just, he kind of exists within the group home, outside them. He's kind of the loner of the group home. Yep. And he gets a new roommate. He's never had a roommate before. The bed's been empty, for quite some time. And in comes Marvin, and Marvin's the lowest functioning member of the group. Recent transfer from somewhere else, and he comes in to share Henry's space, and what follows is sort of a Pavlovian response to stimuli and kind of a reward system. And Henry does something very mean to Marvin, and it's a short film, so if I go on too much more, it kind of gives it away. Right. And it's available for free, so you can just check it out. It's a really shitty intro, by the way, but it's it's all good.
Well, I want to tell you something. It was fucking brilliant. I loved the way you made this. Basically, what you're saying is Marvin, well, I've seen it obviously, but Marvin actually invaded his territory, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But people got to check this out because it's brilliant made. I'm not saying it's because you're on right now. I said it to Rod Lean in our interview. It's just brilliant. I love how I never seen that style of a movie done that way as far as a red sticker, and I ain't saying no more. But people, if you're listening to this interview later on, you must check this out. It's brilliant. Now,
thank you, Gruesome.
No problem, buddy. Now, you got one here that obviously a limited selection of people have seen this movie. I was lucky enough to be one of them. The Bunny Game. It has a lot of issues and mysterious things behind it. I interviewed Rod Lean, as you already know. And I'm sure a lot of listeners has already heard something about this movie already. I mean, there's a lot of interviews going around. But just for anything, to give your side of it again, is give the listeners an idea exactly about the Bunny Game, and to give the listeners an idea exactly, roughly, possibly when it might be a chance for people to see.
Okay, well, the film is an atmosphere film. The film was constructed by two musicians, so it feels a little bit different. The way that Rod Lean and I made the film spanned many years and many configurations, and what you finally see on the screen, is the result of many years, hard work in developing the film and then finally executing it in about 13 days. The film follows a prostitute who's picked up by a truck driver and kidnapped and held against her will, taken out in the desert for 5 days. And there isn't a real driving storyline that really that really is all that there is in the film. It's an abduction film. It's a horror film. It's horrific.
Disturbing.
Disturbing.
My favorite word.
Yeah, it definitely is disturbing. You know, it's an experience that is for you to have, you know,
yep.
when you watch it.
And I'll say it again. I said at the Rod Leans interview. Excuse me, Jeff Renfro, who played Hogg. Being that I used to be a truck driver myself, so there's kind of relation there to me, to him, and it just some of the scenes that he's done. I'm not going to say too many because people didn't see it to me, but the scenes that get me is I do it myself. Is you park your truck and you have to unload it all. You stand in the back of your truck, lean against the wall, and you smoke a cigarette. Okay, that's what a normal truck driver would do, but what he was doing was totally different. And just he played the role in that movie so well, it just freaked the shit out of me. You know what I mean?
I think it's like it reads really well because there's truth. He's not acting at all. He's a truck driver. He is a driver, and he knows trucks inside and out. I mean, when you look at his '85 Western Star, it's immaculate. He's somebody that details his car every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's amazing.
When you see him lean against a wall and smoke a cigarette, it's it's something that it's a truth, and again, your brain knows the difference. Like when you see something like Rodney in this film, I'm going to go back to Rodney for a second, but that's one of the things that we've had a lot of praise and compliments on is how realistic the film is, and I try and tell people that that's because it was really happening. It was really happening for Rodney. It wasn't something that we faked. It was very uncomfortable for her for the entire production.
Right. And what a lot of people don't know is there wasn't no script. This is like on the fly type deal. Am I correct?
Yeah. The characters and everything were hashed out, and they were developing, even as the story, as the film started and stuff, when we began production, like, things were developing constantly and changing and evolving, and, didn't really know what the film would be. I mean, a lot of it was, there's a lot of moments and stuff that were really good that ultimately didn't fit the storyline that I went with, in the film. So there were a lot of scenes that were completely thrown out altogether.
Right.
I made the best film possible from the footage that I had.
Right.
But the film was loosely scripted in the sense that there were bullet points of what I wanted to achieve each day, that I used as a reference, but didn't really bog Rob Lean and Jeff down with that too much. It was more like directions that we could go and things that we could do. And so there were there was a stock list of stuff to get, but there weren't instructions for how to get it. There was nothing was mapped out. I wanted to be as intuitive, about my decisions, just be kind of an open channel for everything as Rodney and Jeff were. So that's also probably what I'm most proud of in the film, that we were able to construct this, outside of the normal means of making a film.
Right. But, what makes...
have it work, and still have it work,
Yeah, and what makes it even more disturbing, as I quite often say, is it was done in black and white. I mean, I don't know if it had the same effect in color. I can't say that, but it was well done in black and white.
The intentions really were to strip it down to the barest barest,
Right.
minimum possible for, like, to keep your attention really focused on the action and what was happening to Rodney. I think we kind of strayed away from color in the test shoots that we were doing before. We did shoot some color before the production. We shot some video. I shot Rodney over many, many years, stuff that you see in little flashes, little tiny moments in the film. You'll just see these little shots, and they'll be from like 4 years before we shot, or so there's a lot of moving around. And I have footage, and we did start the film all the way back, early on, and so I had footage over like a 5-year period to pull from with Rodney while I was editing too. So, but the actual production took place in 2008, like where we shot all of the other sequences, and it was all done. It was all done like in a 13-day period. So there's some stuff that's that's like flashbacks of Rodney that I used from when we were actually working on the movie in different capacities, over the years before it became the money game.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, I wish you a lot of luck with that one. I know you're having some issues. I mean, a lot of people just turn their nose up at it because they're afraid to see a certain thing that's in it. But you already know already. I mean, there's people out there that want to see it so bad, but they're gonna have to wait. But Adam, I'm telling you something. This thing is going to be very, very popular when the time comes for it to be released. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm not sweating it. I'm not worried about it. Like, it's one of those films that's challenging. Right now, not a lot of festivals will take it. I haven't had too much luck certainly not with like more mainstream festivals and stuff, and even for like midnight screenings and things like that. I guess I've been most disappointed with like the conventions and different places like that, which would seem like they'd be like really a good place to screen the film. But I don't know if it's like I really don't know what the deal is. I think it definitely affects people when they watch it, which I think that's cool.
Right.
There's some response from it, and there's a lot of disgust, and which I think a horror film, somewhere down the lines we got away from what a horror film should do, like what its function is. Now it just seems to be kind of franchise films and, repeating the same types of stories and stuff over and over and over again. And people seem to be okay with it,
Right. Do you want to share a story that you told me last week about one of your screenings about the people in the front? Do you remember what we talked about?
Yeah. When the first screening.
Yeah.
There was one gentleman up front that just kept saying Jesus Christ. Like he just kept muttering Jesus Christ like over and over and over again throughout the screening. Like it would play for a little while and it'd be silent in the theater, like hear a pin drop silent, and then all of a sudden you'd hear Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. So that was kind of trippy.
Yeah, and how about the old couple?
Yeah, that was the older couple that was there. Yeah, that was the guy. He was down. They came and they were, I think, probably in their 70s, and they were sitting in the front row. They got a good seat.
That is so funny.
One guy got up right off the bat. He got right up in the first minute. I'm not staying here for this. That's what he said. I'm not staying here for this. So we lost 4 or 5. We lost 4 or 5 people.
It's shocking to me that what would these 70-year-olds think that they were coming to look at?
I don't know. That's funny. They stayed. So
that's so funny.
The guy came up afterwards, and he thought it was great. He loved Renfro. He thought Renfro was just outstanding.
I'm telling you, it's just amazing. But anyways, there's a new one that you're working on as well. That I watched the trailer, and I'm very intrigued. and of course it's you and Greg Gilmore. It's called Jonas, 2011. Do you want to give listeners an idea exactly what this is about?
Jonas is a very loose sequel to the Bunny game. It really doesn't have, if you're looking for the kind of horror and excitement of the Bunny game, it doesn't have that. It follows a minor character in the Bunny game about 18 to 20 months down the road, and is really this kind of fictional / non-fictional character study of this man. We follow him for several days as he comes to Los Angeles with this really big, powerful message that he's received from God to have this party on Sunday morning at Venice Beach. And so he's going door to door and trying to get people to come to this big party.
Okay, you there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
No, I thought I lost you there. It was dead quiet.
dead silent.
Damn, I must be boring. No.
No.
But you know, now, do you have any ideas roughly when this isn't going? I mean, I know it's talking it way too soon, but how far along are you?
I have a rough cut of Jonas done right now, and in I have about a month to finish it up, and then Greg's going to come out to LA, and we're going to record some voiceover stuff that we're going to have in the film, and after that's done, it'll pretty much be wrapped up, and I'll start putting the feelers out for festivals and stuff, and also, you know, getting the film to reviewers like yourself to take a peek at and see what you make of it. Yes, it is on Vimeo.com. If you just search for Henry and Marvin, it'll pop right up.
Or Greg Gilmore, correct?
Or Greg Gilmore. Yeah, you could look under Greg Gilmore, and that's Greg with 2 G's. It's like GR and then egg for his egg head.
And listeners, if you guys do check it out, feel free to, give me your input. I'll leave an email address. I'm kind of anxious to see what the listeners will think about it. Obviously, as you know, I did review it, and it was in my top 10 all last week, so people are probably checking it out already, because I think I might have put a link to that review. But anyways, Adam, I really appreciate you coming on today. I wish you a lot of success in the future. I'm hoping that the Bunny game does get a chance for people to see, and I'd love to find out down the road the reactions that they get. All right, you take care of yourself,
take it
Adam.
easy.
Nice talking to you,
You too, man.
Take care, brother.
Nice talking.
Yep. See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.